It's a really exciting time in CTV right now. We're excited about a lot of different streaming publishers taking an AVOD approach. We're excited about more buyers and sellers activating programmatically. We think there's a lot of opportunity to bridge the gap with things we might talk about with measurement and transparency through programmatic activations. A ton of content exploding in CTV, a lot of different distribution channels through fast apps. It's almost like everybody has a say in what's happening with CTV, all different sorts of tech platforms, smart televisions, and everything that we saw really exploding during the pandemic is sort of blossoming in its own way now. So it's really, really exciting. It's a huge growth area for us at PubMatic's. So a fun time in the world of streaming and biddable streaming for buyers and publishers.
So if everyone has a say, what do you feel like the state of consumer participation is in shaping the future of CTV?
Yeah, it's a great question. So consumers, as a consumer, I can tell you, and as somebody who's kind of watching from the sidelines on both sides, consumers are really excited, I think, about the quality of the content that has emerged over the last couple of years, and that the way in which you can consume this content really is very well distributed now versus years ago was, a couple of platforms, a couple of services and devices. I think there is a point where you sort of oversaturate and you're starting to confuse people and it gets expensive, which is why the idea of AVOD supported premium content is so interesting and attractive, because now you can subscribe or access a lot of this content and not have to pay full price, because a lot of that's offset by additional monetization of ad-supported models. So I think, though, the key here, though, is being able to preserve this experience for viewers in the ad-supported model. That means really being careful with over-frequencying, being careful with ad quality, taking full advantage of tech platforms that can help support, frequency capping, signals that are very transparent so buyers know what they're buying. They're buying exactly what they want, at the price they want, who they want, the time they want, so that they're making a really great connection with an audience, right? So I think if we can lean more onto our technology partners, we can help these content providers really win right out of the gate as they take more of their premium content AVOD, and I think that's a win for the viewers. Start with the viewers. I mean, that's what we believe is really the most important piece to the next 5 years of CTV streaming.
We were talking about consumers. Let's talk about brands for a second. I mean, of course, they invest advertising dollars in television and new forms of television because it is a growth driver for them. Mm-hmm. What do you think the state is of cross-screen measurement?
I like where we're going right now with cross-screen measurement. I think there's a lot of opportunity here in terms of being able to reach an audience appropriately and not duplicating reach and not ignoring audiences. Someone mentioned it yesterday that we're really at the beginning of a lot of it. Seems like we've been talking about it we've been talking about this since 2019. But think about over the course of the spectrum of how long this will take to develop, how long we've been talking about it, and how much longer it will take to get it, to master it, and to really build, the right measurement tools. I mean, the history of television and measurement of television dwarfs what we've been doing in CTV. So it's going to take us some time to find, the perfect measurement process across screens. But I think the fact that we're thinking about it and we're not saying like, oh, this part of the business is irrelevant and this part of the business is more important. It isn't. It's all about reaching a consumer, and consumers are in multiple places right now, and it's really important to be able to measure them cross screen. So I think we have a lot more to do, and I think there's kind of more that we can learn from the digital side in terms of like bringing the best of TV and the best of digital together and making this kind of like Voltron, superhero of CTV for publishers and for buyers. But I think we still have time. They were saying yesterday, like, give us a minute, and I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment.
Maybe speaking of yesterday, what are you excited about that you're hearing or that you're looking forward to hearing as a member of the Beat Retreat Santa Monica community?
Yeah, I love when we get buyers and publishers together on the same stage. I think it's really interesting because they often have the same challenges relative to resource constricted and just trying to get their head around all of the technology. And I think sometimes we don't always appreciate how challenging it is on both sides. One side says, I am frustrated that you're not doing X, Y, and Z, and the other side says the exact same thing, and yet all of us are really oversaturated with challenges. And somebody said it yesterday, it's great. We are evolving. This is new technology. How exciting that we're such an innovative, community. But it's very challenging, and it's easy to forget how challenging it is for everybody else. Here at the Beat Retreat, we kind of like, the walls come down. We sit together and we say, it is challenging for you. It's challenging for me. Let's figure this out together in a really just in a really friendly, smart, friendly, action-driven way. So I think that's really special.